fellow of the American Enterprise Institute, Fox News contributor, Zach Pitcanis, senior official for the DNC. And gentlemen, good day to both of you. All right, now, the fundamental question to both of you men, Marc, you can start. Have the institutions in America gone too far?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, as General Sessions pointed out yesterday, 33% of public universities in this country have speech codes that ban quote-unquote offensive speech. That speech is protected by the First Amendment. First of all, what is offensive speech? It depends on they're not talking about neo-Nazis, they're talking about conservative speech. And they have a First Amendment responsibility to protect that speech. But beyond that, the biggest threat to free speech on campuses today, Bill, is this neo-communist domestic terrorist movement called Antifa, which shows up at to stop conservative speakers and beat up peaceful protesters. They show up in black ski masks with sticks and clubs and shields that say no hate, and they try to intimidate speakers in not coming. Berkeley, when Ben Shapiro spoke a couple of weeks ago, Berkeley had to spend $600,000 on security for that speech. That's a $600,000 tax on conservative speech. That is enough money to send 44 underprivileged students to Berkeley for a full year.
I think the
tuition.
question
so they shouldn't be allowed to do that.
Why. Let me bring in Zach on this. Have they gone too far? And often the pendulum swings, and perhaps they've gotten a little carried away, Zach.
Look, I think this is one big distraction from the Trump administration, and they're trying to distract their base. I do. I think that they are worried that people are going to realize that the problem in their life is maybe that the Trump administration hasn't got a major piece of legislation passed, maybe that they've been trying to cut people's Medicaid for the last 6 months, and instead they're trying to say, no, the problem in your life is that Ann Coulter can't go and speak to a bunch of rich college brats up in Berkeley, California. Give me a break. If you're looking at the actual insincerity behind this administration, just look at the way that they treated NFL players over the weekend. They said that
a college campus.
The official position. Well, but this is about protecting free speech, and they said the official position of the Trump administration is that NFL players should be fired for expressing their right to free speech, for expressing their right to protest. Or let's look at college campuses. Let's look at conservatives who went wild with anger and crazy and gnashing of teeth when Chelsea Manning was going to go speak at Harvard.
Chelsea Manning
is not someone.
Because she's a traitor.
Chelsea Manning is not someone that I agree with. It's not someone that I agree with.
To be clear, Democrats and Republicans denounced that decision. Go ahead, Marc. Respond to Zach.
No, so this is, Zach is talking about the Trump administration as this is a distraction. This is a real issue. You have a domestic terrorist movement named Antifa that is showing up. I mean, during Trump's inauguration, if you want to bring Trump into this, they showed up in Washington and broke windows, set a limousine on fire, and they're doing this on college campuses, trying to intimidate conservatives from being able to speak. Now, I know Zach doesn't care about that, but it's a real issue. If you're a student who's trying to get educated in this country, that you're living in an environment on a college campus where you could get beaten over the head because you say something that in support of the Trump administration. That's not American. You know, Zach has this great outrage that the NFL players are being criticized for disrespecting the flag, yet he doesn't seem to be concerned with the fact that somebody's getting beaten over the head and bloodied because they're trying to support the Trump administration.
The phrase from the Attorney General was an echo chamber of PC and homogenous thought, a shelter for fragile egos. Zach, go ahead and respond to Marc's claim there.
Look, this is not about whether one is supportive of cracking down on free speech. We should be for free speech for everyone. But my concern is, and what I'm trying to express here, is the hypocrisy from those on the right who are not for free speech for everyone. They're for free speech for their people. They're not for free speech, again, when the NFL.
$600,000 for security at Berkeley is no way to carry out a speech. Right?
Of course not, but I would also say that it is that if you want to cherry pick examples and blow them up way out of proportion, that it's going to seem like a bigger deal than the fact that the Trump administration has been trying to cut people's Medicaid for the last 6 months. That's more important.
Are Republicans being hypocritical, Marc? Are they cherry picking, as Zach is alleging there?
No, they're not. They're being completely consistent. Look, there is no problem with liberal speech on college campuses. All students get all day long is liberalism, liberalism, liberalism. Conservative groups are trying to bring in a handful of conservative speakers to present an alternative view, and they risk now they have to spend $600,000 in security for someone like Ben Shapiro, who is an anti-Trump Republican. And this is not just cherry picking. This is happening on college campuses across the country. It's a major issue, and I'm just shocked that Ben Shapiro is sorry, that Zach is more concerned with some NFL players being criticized for taking a knee and disrespecting the American flag that people fought and died for, than people being beaten over the head.
It's a lot of money for free speech. Gentlemen, thanks to both of you. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks.
Zach and Marc.
Thank you.